We are back to Tirana, the colorful capital of Albania in Western Balkans. From its colorful streets, hidden underground bunkers and fascinating history, to delicious local food, authentic restaurants and unique coffee culture. Tirana isn't what travelers usually expect. It's more raw, evolving and full of contrast. We're visiting Albania again, this time Tirana in full spring, continuing exploring this fascinating country. Located in Western Balkans, across from southern Italy, and just north of Greece. Over the centuries, on the crossroads of cultures, religions, and civilizations that have left its mark on contemporary Albania. There's something quietly powerful about arriving in Tirana for the first time. At a glance, it feels vibrant and colorful, almost unexpectedly so. Painted buildings, new modern architecture, lively cafes, and the rhythm that feels unmistakably Balkan and European. But beneath the color lies a story that hasn't faded, and it is visible almost in every corner. Its transformation from the dark communist regime era. This is a city that remembers. At the heart of Tirana is Skanderbeg Square, a vast open space where history meets modern life. Families stroll, children play, and tourists pause, unaware that not so long ago, this square stood under the heavy shadow of one of Europe's most isolated regimes. For over 4 decades, Albania lived under the strict rule of communist dictator. For most of the second half of 20th century, the country was considered to be what North Korea is today. Fear was woven into everyday life. Freedoms were limited, and borders were strictly closed. Tirana wasn't colorful then. It was gray, controlled, silent, and filled with communist propaganda. Since the fall of communism and the turbulent 1990s, the country has been rebuilding itself step by step. The capital city has transformed and tourism is growing, and there's a clear sense of direction toward European Union. The dream of joining the European Union isn't just political. For many Albanians, it's personal. It represents aspiration and opportunity, freedom and recognition after decades of isolation. Today, Albania's GDP per capita remains significantly lower than the EU average. But the country has already made a visible progress. Since the 1990s, it has transitioned from a closed, centrally planned system to a growing market economy. And so Tirana today is not the same city that was here 20 or 30 years ago. Nevertheless, between modern high-rise and new apartment buildings, you can see many traditional Albanian architecture tucked between the emerging new skyline of the city. You can even find Ottoman-era houses with tiled roofs, wooden balconies and stone walls. Echoes of a time when Tirana was a small provincial town. Landmarks like the Ethembe Mosque showcase intricate frescoes and delicate craftsmanship, offering a rare glimpse into Albania's cultural past, where East and West met in everyday life. Today, when visiting Tirana, you can step inside its past, literally, at places like its landmark pyramid, built during communism era and recently transformed into cultural center. From its top, it offers 360-degree panoramic views of the city, and the nearby mountains. And there are plenty of good cafes, both around it and on the very top. What we really enjoyed about Tirana was how compact was its core center and how easily accessible were most of the sites of interest within just a walking distance from the main square. It truly is a perfect city break destination where you don't need to waste time traveling across vast urban areas. It is also a very affordable city and easily accessible with low-fare airlines from many European cities. There's something quietly captivating about Tirana, a city where history, faith, and modern life blend in unexpected ways. And right in the heart of it all stands one of its most anticipated recent landmarks, the Namazgah Mosque. As you walk closer, the first thing you notice is its scale. The mosque isn't just another place of worship. It's the largest mosque in Albania, the country where Muslims are the largest religious group, followed by Orthodox and Catholic Christians. The mosque is the result of years of planning, politics, and international cooperation. Construction began in 2015, led by the Albanian Muslim community in partnership with Turkey. The project was largely funded by the Turkish government, reflecting long-standing cultural and historical ties between the two countries. The goal was to provide a central, modern place of worship for Tirana's Muslim community, while also reviving a sense of shared Ottoman-era heritage in the region. Stepping inside, everything changes. The noise of the city fades, replaced by a calm, almost weightless silence. When you look up, you'll see the dome, decorated with delicate patterns and calligraphy that seem to flow like poetry across the ceiling. Even if you're not religious, there's something universal about spaces like this. They invite reflection. They make you pause. Tirana is full of color, energy, and life, especially in spring. But beneath the surface, underground, lies a very different story. One shaped by fears and isolation of the past, and lots of concrete. Scattered across Albania are over 170,000 bunkers. Small grey domes that look almost surreal against mountains, city streets, or coastline. And here, in Tirana, some of the most fascinating ones aren't just relics of tragic past, they're entire underground worlds. To understand them, you have to go back to the communism era, from the end of World War II until late 1980s. During that regime, Albania became one of the most isolated countries in the world, with its dictator paranoid about foreign invasion from both NATO, the Soviet Union, even neighboring countries. The solution was massive construction project of underground and anti-nuclear bunkers literally everywhere. Citizens were trained to use them. Families were assigned bunkers. The idea was simple. If invasion came, every Albanian would be ready to defend the country from inside these concrete shells. Today, some of the most important bunkers in Tirana have been transformed into museums, and stepping inside them feels like entering a different time. In our first video from Tirana, we visited Bunker 2, in the very center of the city. In this video, we venture into even larger underground complex, constructed in the hills just outside of Tirana.
So we're going to see the underground bunkers that were built during the communist era to protect the regime from the foreign invasion, nuclear war, or any conflict with both NATO troops and the Warsaw Pact. It's built inside of the mountains outside of Tirana, and today it is a museum and memorial to all the victims of the regime.
Built as a massive underground anti-nuclear shelter for government officials and the communist elite. It stretches across hundreds of rooms and tunnels deep beneath the earth. Inside you'll find cold concrete walls, narrow hallways, and rooms preserved to show life during the communist dictatorship, complete with period furniture, maps, multimedia and art installations. It's not just a bunker, it's a real-time capsule. Walking through these spaces, it's hard not to feel the weight of it all. The fear, the control, the sense of a country preparing for Third World War and for an invasion that never happened. What was once a symbol of isolation and paranoia has become a place of reflection and even creativity.
So this was one of the craziest underground bunkers that we have ever visited. 4 levels underground, deep into the mountain. It was built for the communist regime to have a place of hideout during the nuclear war, and there's a lot of people who died digging the tunnels here, and the exhibition actually tells the story of how this was designed, who was building it, and what was the purpose of this underground structure. And also it shows how it was renovated in the recent years. Since the collapse of communism, it went into the despair.
They're strange, almost out of place. But that's what makes them powerful. They tell a story you can't ignore. Visiting Tirana's bunkers isn't just about history. It's about perspective. It's about seeing how a country transforms its past, confronts it, and reshapes it into something meaningful. So when you're in Tirana, don't just stay exploring above the ground. Make sure to go deeper, because sometimes the most important stories are the ones hidden underground. And after exploring Tirana's hidden past underground, the best way to reconnect with the city is right back on its streets, where life feels vibrant, social, and full of flavor. You can start at the city's new bazaar. Colorful stalls overflow with fresh fruits, vegetables, spices, and local products, and it gives you a real sense of everyday life here. And then, of course, there's the local food. The market offers you plenty to try Albanian classics. The square around the market is surrounded with many restaurants, coffee shops, and takeaway stalls. But what really defines Tirana's rhythm is coffee. Cafes are everywhere. Sidewalks are lined with them. And no matter the time of day, they're full. Here, coffee isn't rushed. It's a ritual. Whether it's a strong espresso or a traditional Turkish coffee, people sit, talk, and take their time. So make sure to try traditional Albanian coffee, or even buy a local coffee pot to take home. Tirana is still very much affordable destination, and much cheaper than any Eurozone capital city, with good hotels easily under 100 euros per night. So if you are keen to explore more of Albania, check out our other videos on the channel, subscribe, or add questions if you are planning to visit this fascinating country.